know. There might be more hidden someplace. I don't know.
There are.
Oh, maybe I
I like your shirt.
Hey!
Yes. Did you say it to me like to? I was going to say.
I could not.
You did. You did.
Not do it.
Before I was walking, I was like,
I watched it all.
I did,
I was
unfortunately.
too tired.
Well, I didn't watch it all. I heard it all. I tried to go to sleep, but. So, yes, if you're tired like me, I get it. So, we're going to go through this. Hey, did everybody sign in? And then for a second. You need a chair, look.
Y'all have one more
yeah, I'll sit right here.
Okay.
Go ahead.
All right, so now everyone has a book or is getting a book, correct? Okay, everyone read chapter 1 and 2? Okay, awesome.
I just got one.
You just got your book.
But it makes you feel better.
Y'all can be, I am new to this. Like, I have not led a book study. I've not led Google Classroom. So I'm learning just right along with you. So I'm excited. Does anyone use Google Classroom? You 3rd and 4th grade teachers, this is something y'all could really use in your class. And it is awesome. My husband teaches high school, and he was like, I was going to send out that questionnaire to y'all, and he was like, put that in Google Classroom, and then you can keep track of it. And it really is amazing. So if y'all are interested, we're going to be using it, obviously, but then, which that's my next slide up here, is that. So Fundamental 5, the formula for quality instruction. Everybody has that book. And we're going to be interactive. I'm not going to stand here and talk, but does anyone have questions? Did everyone get in their Google Classroom who's doing the book study with us? Anybody struggle with Google? Any trouble with Google Classroom? Okay, did you do it? Were you on your phone? You did try both ways. Okay, is your email, but you got an email about it? Okay, I'm gonna try resending. I'll remember. It's Jetty, right? Okay.
Remember, I told you when I was.
You couldn't get on it.
I couldn't get on it.
And you even on a. Oh, was it your? Good, thank you, Miss Glasgow.
Sorry, I don't mean to be standing.
Yeah.
How are you gonna go till about what time?
Hopefully 4:30.
Okay, gotcha. I'm getting out of your way then.
Yeah. Is that okay?
No, that you
Do you have
yes.
any announcements? That's
No,
okay.
and then no,
I actually do have.
good about 4:45 is kind of where we cut it
Good.
to pick up children.
Perfect.
Does anyone need anything from me? I'm gonna let you have at it. Fundamental 5, you'll love it. It's easy. It's wonderful. It's a lot of what's on our walkthrough document. So, the first thing people look for when they come into your classroom is if your lesson is framed. So be sure we're framing that lesson. And then you get lots of props and points for being in the power zone. So those are good tricks.
You want to know these things. You don't want any, it's not, I got you, but if you know these things, then you know what they're looking for when they enter that room.
All right, well, I'm backing out so y'all can get done.
Thank you.
Appreciate each and every one of you.
Okay, so 2 of you, we're going to check that you're using your school email. And I can always come to you. I think y'all's lunchtime is my off time, so I can come down there and check on it. So anybody else have any trouble with it?
I couldn't get in it.
You couldn't either.
Mm-mm.
Okay.
But I'm going to try the school.
Make sure
Google.
it's, Google's funny like that. And that's the thing. It's like an app. So if you're not in your and that's why on the phone it can act up.
Yes.
Just like you can't get into Google Docs if you're not logged in.
Okay.
So I know.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So 3 of you. And I did notice some people. So, okay. And we're going to, does anyone have any questions? Like, this is the only one we're going to meet. And it was like almost 100%. I think one person wanted to meet in person. I will totally meet with that person. I don't know who that person was, but anyone that wants to meet live, we can meet one-on-one and talk about. Otherwise, we're just going to go kind of like a college class. Like, just, do you know how to, did you sign into Google Classroom? So we'll just be, I'll put up a question. We'll just discuss it online. Does that make sense? Like, you'll just type in about what your thoughts are. I actually think it's a really neat way to get to know people too, because you get to see their ideas, their thoughts. And I'm going to have a drawing at the end for who, like, not a drawing, but I'm going to put names in of people who, like, post the most stuff, looking to see who's active. I'm going to have a gift card to somewhere at the end. So just try to give you some motivation to log on to discuss each week. And just, we can learn from each other. Like I said, I'm learning. This Google Classroom is new to me, but I'm excited to use it. Something you can think about how you could use it in your classroom also. So while we use it as teachers, then we can, as learners ourselves, then we can, and I'd love, if anyone wants help with it, I'll help them. So, okay, any questions with that? Y'all just let me know. Like I said, so next Monday we'll be doing chapter 3 and 4 on Google Classroom. So you'll have read chapter 3 and 4. Am I correct? Yes. By next Monday, and then that week we'll spend talking about it online. Does that make sense? And then the more you log in, the more chances you'll have to win the gift card at the end. So just to motivate y'all, something fun for me to do. Okay, next one. And I clicked it in case we needed to go there, but I think we're good. Okay, so chapter 1, and this is just kind of what we'd be doing online, but you'd be typing it and we'd just be interacting all week. And the goal is at least try to post one response for each chapter, and like I said, you could be helping someone else. The things that go on in your classroom can help someone else. And so the ideas that you have, that's the goal. Is that cool thing about being online is it's your time. You can do it at 2 in the morning. If you're anyone with babies, nobody in here that has the babies. Huh? No morning mamas, but whenever you're awake, you know what I mean? Or in your pajamas at night. That's what I actually enjoy online and if y'all aren't on Twitter, that's a good place too. You can learn from others on. So, okay, chapter 1. So I just kind of put some questions up there. Hopefully, I don't want to talk the whole time, so hopefully get y'all engaged in the questions. So I'm sitting in front of it, aren't I? Sorry. Okay, number 1, improving pedagogy is easy as losing weight. What does that mean? Anybody?
I know.
Come on.
Yes and no. It's easy as losing weight if you follow the rules and you put it all together and you do everything all together. But if you do one here or one there, it's impossible.
Or stop for fast food all the time.
Because it's easier. It's easier, right?
Exactly.
And it's yummy.
Yeah.
There you go. Shut up, y'all. Well, even I was like pedagogy. I mean, even I was starting to struggle with that word. Sometimes I'm like, pedagogy, what do they mean by? So just I know we're supposed to know what pedagogy means, but
How you feel, how you think yourself as an educator should be.
right.
Right.
Or what does it look like? Yeah.
Mhm.
What is it called? The ideal.
Like classic.
Yes, and what they should look like I can't think of the words right now. The classic, like this is what good teaching looks like. Yeah.
I think it also comes down to what's your motivation for it? Because if you're just motivated because you want your classroom to go smoother, then that's not honestly going to help you succeed. You should honestly be thinking, how am I going to help my kids learn better? How am I going to make sure they get what they need?
Exactly.
And that's with losing weight. It has to be. You have to be truly motivated to do it.
Yeah. I love analogies. It helps me. There was something you said. Oh, it's fun. Fast food's yummy. I was thinking, because there are those lessons you just want to do.
Yes.
They're just fun. But then you're like, well, wait a minute. Is this really going to help my kids? But it's true. I love that analogy. And we said, I said, why do we fail? And the chapter 1 kind of really broke down some of it. Like it said, simple is not always easy. Because it's simple to lose weight. You eat less, exercise more. Sounds real simple.
Is that how that works?
Well, both of them are very simple concepts, but when you really start digging into it, they're extremely complex.
Yeah. Teaching is as we've all, especially y'all first years, teaching is not for the weak, not easy. We do so many jobs. Just like losing weight, right? It's easy to say, but then day to day, you're actually having to eat breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and snacks in between. Then I said, why is there a need for the fundamental 5? And I have to, like I said before, I like that they give us the why. Why do we need this? Because you're like, I really don't need a book to read. I don't need something else to do. And I hope y'all find it valuable. I don't want y'all to sit through this or do these and walk away not gaining anything. If nothing else, I'm excited to get to know y'all, and we can improve our learning. And I know these things, and I know some of us have done it before, but I still need help with it. I'm still could do these things better. I mean, I'm realizing that the different pieces of it, and as it says, which I have a quote about that too. And I heard you say we have to do all the pieces. If we're not doing them all, it won't work. And I have to say, I know I'm not always doing all 5 of them. And so I love the accountability of that too. But the why, it says, why do we fail? Not having a good plan. This is for dieting and for teaching. We don't have a good plan. We don't have the desire, which is kind of what you're, what is our desire? What is our motivation? We're procrastinators. Any procrastinators in here? I probably will be able to tell on Friday. No.
What time's our response to?
I am not that. I stress over things, so I have to be.
That's good.
You are? Who just got their book? I'm just kidding.
I just got it.
I just got mine.
I'm just kidding. It says not having, where am I at? Number 4, not recognizing the opportunity loss. And I was like, what is that one? Anyone can explain that one? Let's read that first. Oh, I guess it's like realizing, like, if you don't teach well, what's the ending result? Like, what happens? Like, same thing with dieting. What's the long-term effect of it? And I highlighted, educators have a moral imperative to push and prepare every student to exceed expectations, theirs, ours, and the community's. Not all students will, but if schools and teachers do not do their part, no student will. That was page 4. And then number 5, not having support and not having a way to regularly and accurately gauge progress. So. What's my next one is, well, I guess we didn't really answer. Why is there a need? What's our need? Why do we need to read this book? What is the need for the Fundamental 5? Anybody think they need to read this, or they're just doing it because we have to?
I think educating yourself is always, further educating yourself is always a good thing.
Okay.
So I'm not looking at it as just something else I have to do. But
Awesome.
What was the question?
I'm glad. Yeah, why do we need? What do we need? Why do we need these? What is the purpose behind them?
I think it's important because it's like all 5 of them actually work together. If you're only doing 1 or 2 of them, well, that's great, but that doesn't mean you're doing like your full potential of teaching. It means that like doing, recognizing and reinforcing helps working in the power zone, and like the frequent and purposeful talk helps them to write critically. Like they all help each other. So yeah, we could be doing 1 or 2, but it'll help us like do it better.
Yeah, like I said, a rapid
change.
Yeah, exactly. Well, and I think for me too, I mean, and I feel I don't know that we really looked at because we were under much different circumstances last year. We haven't looked at the scores really, but I mean, does everyone know what our score? We know what our score is, right? For STAR, yeah. So we have a need. I mean, our kids, we have a need. I think every one of us, every grade level is like, oh my goodness, especially in October. This is the month that it comes up. We're like, how are we going to meet all these kids' needs? Is there anyone that doesn't feel that in here? Anyone doesn't feel like, oh my goodness, I have a lot below grade level. Like, how are we going to meet them? And if you look also at our breakdown, like there's definitely, well, that's why we are IR, because of our groups. I don't know if y'all know that, but like the way it's divided is our subgroups. So if our if we have white, African-American, Hispanic, low SES, and if any one of those is lower, a lot lower, that's not okay. And that's part of our problem. So we're not reaching every group. There's groups of our students that we're not meeting their needs. And so that's what's cool about this book. And the guy that's from Aldine, I don't know if anyone know Aldine, Houston? Yeah. I went to Nimitz. I mean, I graduated from Aldine. Anyway, I mean, they're living this. They have kids just like us, if not, I mean, with less than our kids. I mean, yeah. And they're succeeding. Like they're doing it. There are schools that are doing it. And that's my hope is I'm like, we can do this. I'm so passionate. If I'm passionate about anything, it's these babies, and that it's not okay. Like, yeah, I mean, we first grade teachers, like, I don't know if y'all know first grade, we have to move them from a level, hopefully a 5, hopefully to 17. And that's not the normal is not 5. We're talking 0s and 1s. The goal is 17. I mean, and we look at that and we're like, oh my goodness. And then we want to say, we discussed this too. We want to say, well, our babies just can't do that. Like, that's just not where, and I'm like, I had to say, no, ma'am, we can't say that. This is where the majority of 6-year-olds are at, and our kids deserve to be there too. And so what can we do to get our babies there? Like, it's not fair to them just because of their background, because you can see in your room right now, a lot of times it's what did they come with from home? You know, I've heard it, like, I'm on a rant here, but I've heard like a kid has to hear something 100 times before they can learn it. Well, some kids in a room, they've heard it 300 times. Some of your kids have heard it 5. And so it's not that they can't learn, it's that they haven't heard it. They need the exposure. Anyway, so I feel like these guys have the proof. They have the data that shows do these things. And I mean, which of us doesn't? Don't we want to do that? Like, I want these babies to succeed. And so what can we do? And that's why they're not just walking through, which I struggle with that too, as they say, this is what they look for in our walkthrough. Well, it's not to get you. Why do they look for these things in our walkthrough? Because this is what's going to help our babies grow. And that we have to have that mindset. They're not coming in. We had this discussion a minute ago. You know, it's hard. You feel like someone's judging you. But they're coming in because they want the best for our kids too. So they're going to hold us accountable to that so that we can all. So it's hard. I mean, and I don't believe me. When I used to get those walkthroughs and open them up, I'd like, feel like I was being judged. But if we all remember what we're here for to help all these kids learn, then every kid, like, we want them all to succeed. Then we're all on the same team, all on the same page going for that. So sorry, I kind of went off on that, but that's I guess you can see my heart and why this book is important to me. So, and why I think we have the need for it. So then my question, why is the foundational trinity so important? And I didn't let y'all have y'all's test scores back because I'm going to give you the same one at the end to show that y'all grown and learned in it. So this one, everybody missed this one. So if you want to turn to page, the foundational trinity is on page 8 and 9. Everybody missed this one. So it's Kane, and he's the author's foundational trinity. Does someone want to read us the 3?
The implementation of a common scope and sequence, the use of short-term common assessments, the increased monitoring and support of classroom teachers by campus instructional leadership, and support personnel.
So these are the foundations. This is what we should have. And do we have these things at our school? We have a scope and sequence, right? We should. Mm-hmm. We have short-term common assessments.
We got rid of those. No, I'm just playing.
We got
rid of the CFAs, but we have other stuff.
Yeah.
You know,
so bringing the
teacher unit tasks.
Now, granted, I'm sure there's things we could do better on. We, first grade, would definitely need kinder. Yeah, second. I don't know, second is 32nd. Yeah.
Third.
Do y'all have CFAs in second?
We're doing
Kim is gonna bring.
Okay.
She's gonna give us unit 1 and 2. We're gonna go back in time.
Okay. So, and then we should be having more monitoring support of classroom teachers by campus instructional leadership and support personnel. I mean, so that's those are the things. We can't control those things, but they should. He's saying those are the things that should be in place for a school. And I like it because he says, if those things are in place, then all we have to do is worry about the how to teach. We don't, which in some ways, sometimes you think, but I don't want to teach it in that order. But I have to take that mindset of, they know what's best, that this is a good order, and then we're going to go from there. Even if I don't believe the order's the best. Anybody else struggling with that? Did y'all's getting taken out of order? Our math. Oh. So, did you teach math?
Yeah.
Is yours crazy sequence?
Oh yeah, we're teaching fractions where we taught multiplication and addition.
Oh.
We just had a fraction meeting. Now we're back to adding and subtracting.
I feel your pain. Yeah.
Crazy.
We aren't going to teach 2D and 3D shapes till May. Yeah, so if y'all want your kids, I don't know if second grade, don't worry, we're not. But if you didn't look at the scope and sequence, you wouldn't teach them. Does that, like, we looked and we're like, oh my goodness, no, we got to be hitting that every day. But if you just followed your scope and sequence, then, so we feel your pain. Math is definitely, okay. My next one, so that's that's why it's important. Why is it important? Because it's that allows us to know, just focus on how to teach. It says, when teachers do not have to spend significant time solving the problems of what to teach, when to teach, and how to teach, and assess it, they're able to focus their time and attention on what really matters. The foundational training allows teachers to concentrate their singular efforts on the how to teach it component, which improves the effectiveness of actual instruction. So then you can do these fundamental 5 things because you're not focused on others. So, and then next one, I'm going to try to move through these. What did the author say are the 2 ways to see rapid change? Anybody read that? It's kind of funny. One of them you can't really do, but would create the rapid change. Page 11 and 12. You want to see that? The one way was to change the composition of your student body. Can we do that?
We have buses.
And they believe it or not, there's schools that do that. I mean, magnet schools, that's why they do it. I mean, not why, but they change the makeup of their school.
Some districts, like they break up a school and make another school, and they like disperse that school that never did well.
Right.
They'll do that.
But they're still not going to be that. I mean, maybe they will.
Well, it's basically, it's kind of like, I thought it was chemotherapy. Like, it's chemotherapy. You're just going to take them and go.
Gotcha. That's a good analogy.
Take the cells.
But does it really solve the
spread them
problem
out.
if they don't change how
Go
they're
somewhere
teaching them?
Yeah.
It doesn't solve it.
Well, that's the theory. They're doing our schools.
Well, they went to other schools that were fine. So
Did they turn out okay? Do you know?
I didn't see the end.
You didn't see it. I just wonder, like
Beginning and middle.
which maybe if they've got great teachers doing great
That they were
strategies,
fine.
they
Yeah,
could
the other
pull them
schools
up.
were fine. It was just like that school was constantly IR. Like, okay, take it away. We're gonna
Okay.
disperse it.
Well,
They
all 4,
restructured
I hate to tell you, but all 4 of our elementary schools are IR, so
Yeah.
we can't change our makeup. There's no, that one's not possible, and I kind of thought that was funny. So then the second way is to change the student's performance was to dramatically improve the quality of classroom instruction. And so, which this is what this book is doing. So this is, and they have the proof that this is what works. Consistently using high frequency, high quality daily inclusion of the 5 practices in a unit. And I liked this little quote. And is there anything else that stuck out in chapter 1, anyone? And I'd love, if y'all have stuff, that's what, like on Google Classroom, please, if there's stuff that y'all really loved, like share it. If there's a quote, you know what I mean? Throw those quotes out there. That's kind of popular on Twitter right now. Is anyone else on Twitter? Yeah, it's a great resource for, I only do education on there. I don't do like for social, it's just like teacher stuff. And there's some really good stuff. I encourage you. Yeah, I think so.
I've heard.
Anyway, there's also good educators on there. It's a good resource to, I was going to say, it's big to highlight quotes and tweet them out, like in your book, like copy what you tweeted. So, okay, next one. I liked this. Did anyone read this one? Someone want to read it for me? Go ahead, Glasgow. Go ahead.
The fundamental 5 are like fingers in a fist. If even one is broken, this will not be able to strike with any force.
So I thought that was a good visual. I'm a visual analogy person. I need something to remind myself. So all 5, and I hadn't thought about that. That's true. You can't punch if one of them's not working. So that kind of leads us, it kind of connects chapter 1 and chapter 2. So in chapter 2, I just have 2 questions. So it's going to be fast, I promise you. What time does she say usually? Till 4:45? 4:30? 4:30? 4:30, okay.
4:22.
Come on, no, just kidding. The Astros don't play tonight. You don't have anywhere to go. No. Okay. My question was, what are the weaknesses of current practices?
Without reading the book, I'll tell you a lot more.
Okay, no, but I love it. It's still, you can give us what are our weaknesses? It doesn't matter. You got it. Not ready.
Not research based.
Not research based. Or curriculum, or
Well, like perfect example is how you do spelling tests. How you do it.
Me, I don't get spelling tests.
I'm just saying, the majority of people call out the word, and that's been proven over and
Oh
over.
yeah, you're not supposed to be doing Friday. Well, and that's the problem too, is I don't know what, in the previous years, we were not allowed to give Friday spelling tests anymore because of that. Yeah. We teach.
But then you get to fourth grade and
You
you
can't
wonder why these kids can't spell.
Amen. I preached that to the Region 6 lady. She thought I was crazy, but.
No, it's true.
My
All
child is in
about
seventh
spelling
grade and
tests.
she struggles. I have to constantly teach her how to spell because they stopped it
Yeah,
in her grade
they
level. And so
stopped.
she is a horrible speller,
Yes.
like horrible. And
Yeah.
she's in seventh and she struggles.
Well, first grade, we teach them to use their sounds. So, like, and then what you've seen. We teach them to, well, I don't know about every first grade teacher, but yeah.
I've been told that first grade only worries about sight word spelling correctly. Other than that, it doesn't matter. It's like phonetically.
Once they've learned a sound, like SHCH, we're learning right now. Oh no, they need to be spelling that correctly. Like once we've been teaching a sound, they need to use what they know. And we talk about you need to remember what you've seen. So,
But think about that. Think about that translating into third and fourth grade and how that translates. I mean, when we were in school, it was a spelling test, and yes, I know, but some things have to be wrote, and some
They
things
do.
have to be.
We had
Grammar.
spelling and sentence dictation, which
Yes.
I do in my class. We do sentence dictation.
we do
because
sentence
They
dictation.
just need to know how to listen.
Yes. Good Lord, yes. Amen. Okay, I'm done.
Yeah.
We can talk later.
Okay. Well, and it talks about action research, knowing the research. I mean, that's part of it. Doing things that matter, that are proven to work. You're 100% right. So proven to work.
We know how to spell, don't we?
I do.
Do too.
I am aware of how to spell.
The thing about Friday spelling test that they would say, and I get it. I mean, believe me, I totally, and I don't let, my final drafts are not misspelled. That's not okay. Does that make, like, if they're gonna write a word, I'll encourage them to write a word they know. Does that, like, that they
Yeah.
can't spell it? Like, but I can't handle words spelled wrong either. But they were saying that it didn't translate over. They would memorize those words for Friday, but then, which is me, I memorized a whole lot. But then they couldn't use it in their writing.
Okay, but I'm gonna argue that.
Yeah.
But I won't say it again.
Critically, it will.
Sorry.
But they're not teaching the rules anymore either.
Yeah.
We don't teach the rules for why those words are.
Peyton's
written.
learning the rules in fourth grade. Where's my fourth grade teachers in the ELA? Peyton's learning the rules. She knows
Yeah.
that. The why and the I had to learn them. I didn't even know that.
I remember being younger, like in second and third grade, our spelling books, we would have the spelling words, and we would also have a grammar rule, why those words were spelled, why we called it. I don't see anything like that anymore. We're doing these word work. God bless you for putting those in there. It's not against you. But that to me does not translate over
Because
to.
when they say things like it doesn't translate over, okay, well, here, I don't believe that. You may think that it's, proven, but it's not. I mean, who's in the classroom? We are.
Yeah, generation of people that can't spell and write.
Thank you. I mean, that's what we're gonna have these kiddos come out of school who are gonna still be spelling phonetically in the 11th grade.
And we only spell phonetically so far. I mean, don't get me wrong. We get to a point you can't sound out. We memorize like ow. We know that ow is OW and OU, which I'm teaching in first grade. You're teaching in second grade, like they should.
Yeah, but that's still going on. I mean, I see kids all over the place, and it's.
Well,
still-
let me say this too. Do y'all agree to this? And I love this is the kind of discussions. I mean, I find productive. Like, but the what was it? Just I forgot what I was gonna say. What did you say before that though? They're not right. Oh.
They don't know. We have older kids that still are trying to do spell phonetically when they get older. They're not, whatever, this is not catching on. They're not learning how to spell and write.
Yeah, I can't remember what I was
I
gonna say.
don't know, but you said you
It
teach
happens.
first grade. I teach
And
second.
I mean,
We teach it in both grades, the OU. I mean, we should be practicing it in first and then in second and remember. Oh, I know what I was going to say. Okay. It directly translates into their reading. If they're not, the more they read, what they can read before they can write it. So if you have low level readers, they're not going to be able to remember those words they haven't seen. It should go, not always. I mean, there's the exception, but
that makes sense.
so if you're having low readers, they're not going to be spelling those words right.
And then Mrs. Walker, I mean, I was here last year. It was my first year here, but I had heard a lot of stuff about how it came from like admin down that who spell it,
Yes,
you know,
yeah,
so.
it did. It came from the superintendent.
Yes, so I will say that.
But that might be out the window. I mean, that
will
could
throw
totally
that out,
be out the
y'all,
window.
because like, you know, it's kind of like if you said, oh, we're not gonna, you know, do subtraction. Well, then you're not gonna do subtraction.
Right.
So it's kind of like that. So it's kind of like that finger, or that, you know, that finger.
Or you find a
drop
way,
it off.
if you truly believe in it, you find a way to do it.
Oh, I do.
You do what you believe. You know what I mean? Like, I do.
Like cursive, teaching cursive.
That's a third grade teak. You can't
Yes,
deny that.
yeah,
That is a third
yeah.
grade teak, and I will fight that till
Yes.
the end.
Did say
Yes.
to test it in another way,
Yes.
but then you're like, give it to me.
Tell me how.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And,
Well,
and
that's
if you
what
want
I'm
it through authentic literature, okay, you go through 40 kids' personal narratives by the time they were excited and write down every dang word
I
that is
feel
spelled
yeah.
wrong.
We feel
So, yeah, so I would say that though.
okay.
Like if, like for Madison who just came in and from Glasgow and for the third.
Yeah, that it did come down from.
It was like,
Yeah.
it was, you know,
Yeah.
it was.
But again, that could be totally out there.
But it wasn't, it's not just in this district.
Oh, okay.
Because like I would say like within the last 5 years, there's been a huge
The pendulum.
decline.
Yeah.
It's going, we have a pendulum, if you watch it, it goes back and forth. When my youngest sister was 5 years younger than I was. They stopped teaching handwriting when she went to elementary school. And she can't write to save her life.
Do what?
I know Conroe doesn't.
Yeah, I
do that
worked in
at
Conroe
all.
and
Caitlin's
they
been
don't
in
do it
Conroe.
there.
But they did the
Yeah.
rules, didn't they?
Oh, I'm from Gallsville, I'm from Mansfield, and I've given spelling tests in third grade class before, so they still do spelling.
That's good.
And DFW.
I mean, I know it seems like it's such a little issue, but it's not.
We do spelling pattern. We do spelling patterns.
So no test, no word list or nothing.
No, they don't memorize a word list. They're supposed to learn the pattern. Like that,
No, it's
owl
words
sound.
that they've never heard until the third time we're doing the PSI, which I don't understand that concept. Don't teach these words, but we're gonna test them as part of your grade.
Okay.
One thing I want to say is, if you read Bob Mazzio's book about
Oh,
construction that
Mazzano.
works.
Mazzano, good.
Yeah, whatever.
Yeah. This is good. Mazzano's
Which,
good.
by the way, if you ever seen that guy, go see him. He's real funny. But what he says,
Okay, y'all listen in.
and by the way, read the first edition, don't read the second edition. Second edition's a commercial.
Okay.
Just so you know.
Okay.
First edition.
So what's the title?
Instruction that works.
Instruction that works. Y'all hearing this? Instruction
It's
that works.
quoted in the
Mazzano.
first
Yeah,
chapter.
it was, yes.
Now, what he says that you should teach spelling is that kids ought to be able to look at a word and determine whether it's spelled correctly or not. But he also says that spelling.
So that
the way-
wouldn't be calling out a word.
Now, no, you give them a test and you say, which one of these 4 words spells this word correctly?
And you know, that's how MAPS is testing them on it.
But,
Yeah.
but the way like we always did call out words or whatever, he says that's totally, completely ineffective.
Agreed. You heard this, Glasgow? I'm just kidding. Mazzano, you can't argue Mazzano. I'm just kidding.
Oh, yeah, we can.
Oh, yeah, you can.
I got too much classical education,
I'm-
too much classical
Yes.
education experience, and too much
Yeah.
homeschool experience that says, look, yes, those kids can spell, read, and write better than this right now.
Yeah. Oh, and I agree. We need a whole. I will say too, which they kind of talk about too. But what about that memory of it though? I think it's struggle. They struggle with memorizing. Does that make sense? Like,
Because they don't see it enough, because they're not accountable for it.
Right. They don't know how to study.
They don't know how to
They don't know how to
study.
study.
yeah.
Well, and that's what
Yeah.
like, freaks me out is like you get high schoolers and then they go to college. Like for example, me, when I went into college, I did not know how to study because I was never forced to.
Mm-hmm.
Because it was all spoon fed to me. I never had to get the information on my own. And so when you go to college and the professor only gives you half the information you need and you're expected to go find the other half on your own, like,
Oh my God, I have to
Writing.
think critically.
I didn't know what MLA writing and all this other stuff. My first paper was my first grade in my entire life. There were so many things I did not know.
Let me say,
But probably
I love this conversation though, which is it ties it back to the book because none of us were looking at our practices. Does that and that's I love that. I never heard anyone say, well, those kids, well, I mean, we kind of did, but we didn't blame it on them. We blamed it on our, right. But that's the key. And that we can understand that it's what we can change. We can't change their circumstances, but it says the teacher is led to believe that some results are outside the span of the teacher's control. In the typical classroom, teacher can be correct in that assumption. However, this is because the teacher is structuring and presenting this typical lesson fundamentally flawed manner. So it says, without the solid foundation, other practices and instructional strategies become, in effect, parlor tricks, which create the illusion of improving instruction without any significant change in student performance. And that by doing these 5 things instead of changing all these little things, if we can do these and we can do these no matter what, they're going to be the things that you're going to see the impact, which writing is included in this. I mean, it's a big deal, a big part of it. And it talks about writing, which we'll get there, but not just writing in ELA time, writing in math, science, social studies.
Oh, my class does.
Yeah, that's powerful because then they're seeing it. That's the thing. Our poor babies, like we said, they've got to see it. We got to give it to them 100 times, if not more. I mean, the more they can see it, the more they're going to get it.
Because they have a hard time generalizing. They can, if it's a specific incident with a specific set of numbers in a specific problem, I can get it. You generalize it in any way, I mean, they're
to carry
lost.
it, to carry it over, right? But anyway, I love that. Then no one
there's
said.
some theorists that say they do not learn it.
I'm sorry, say again?
There's some theorists that say if they do not learn it, they can't do
that. I mean,
I'm not one.
And we've kind of already discussed why the fundamental 5 works, but he gives us some more.
Possible.
Yeah, and these are the 5. I think everyone knows them, and I didn't really go into detail about them because each chapter is about one of them. So I figured we could do 2 at a time. We're going to be done before December with it. So and like we said, this is something they're going to be coming to your classrooms looking for. So at least you'll know, like my team, the We Wills and I Wills, which is our first chapter, I don't know what anyone else's teams do. We print them out every week. We put them in our lesson plans, and then I copy paste them, and we print them every week, and we hang them up. You might should change them daily, but we kind of make it fit for a whole week because we think, and it does help me. It helps me think, okay, what am I teaching today? What am I teaching? What is my goal this week for us and for them to be able to do? And so that's a real quick thing. If whoever's putting in that lesson for each subject just types them up, and then we print them out. Do y'all do that too?
I mean, we put them in the lesson plans, but we don't
type them up.
We write it for a week.
I can't do that. I can't write it. So we cut and paste it, and it takes me 5 minutes, not even 5 minutes. And we do a newsletter with it too. Then we send it to the parents too. So basically it says in simplified terms what we're doing. So, but the next one is framing the lesson, working in the power zone. And I liked this graph on page 19. Y'all saw that graph? Did you see? Do y'all know it? Can anyone know can explain the graph to us? Page 19. I like that it says these things are not a secret. Like this is what authors have done to identify the synergy that develops when all 5 practices are practiced as instructional routine. But y'all see the? Yeah. But even so, only 30% of them did it. Do you see that? So, and I kind of talked about this like the last time we met, is that you're probably doing some of these in your classroom. Like you're probably pretty good at some of these. Like you said, the power zone looks like a lot of people are good at the power zone. It's just true. Nowadays, no one sits behind their desk.
I know, like, how do you not use the power zone?
Yeah. I don't know.
There would be chaos in my room if I just sat up front and just hoped they did what they were supposed to do.
Does anybody do that anymore? I don't know.
I sat behind my desk today because they wouldn't stop talking. I was like, it worked. They stopped talking.
Yeah, I sit there and I go,
Yeah.
I'll wait.
Yeah.
You let me know when you're ready.
Why are teacher desks?
He runs it and be like,
Okay.
I don't even have one. I have a small group table.
I
Yeah.
know yesterday I just sat on this.
Yeah, I'll pull out my phone.
Caroline, didn't you get rid of yours? Did you get rid of your desk?
No.
You still have it. Oh, we haven't gotten it out yet. Yeah. Anybody?
It's just a mess in the corner.
It's where your piles are.
Yeah.
You put your piles.
I should have put display up there.
And then the one that they said they used least was frame the lesson, which to me, in some ways, can be the easiest. Like,
That's required that we do that, right?
well, yeah, these people, I guess it wasn't required, so they weren't doing it. It is supposed to be. Well, again, I haven't really heard it this year, but that you have to do.
It's one of those big things somebody told me, you better write those down.
What is framing?
Which, if you read the book, that's all. We're not really going into detail because it's going to be in the next chapter. But
You have to read the book.
No, it's knowing what you're setting it up, and they go into great detail about why our like kids and a lot of low SES, how they need to know exactly what we're doing. They need to be able to focus their brain on what, and they need to know so it's more than objectives. We used to write objectives. You remember that? This is more of like kids can grasp, like we will, this is what the class will do, and then I will. When I'm done, I should be able to do this. And it's also giving them that, I'm big on trying to get them to hold themselves accountable, like, can I do that or can I do that? And so we will, so we put we wills and I wills, like we will, and we tie ours to the teak exactly. Like, and we use the big words. There was controversy over, do you use decompose and compose or not? We do, because our kids need to know that word. Like, so that's what they're going to be tested on. They've got to know what it means. So we use the teak words.
I will pay attention so I can pass the test next, or the assessment next
But it helps them just grasp exactly what, or like my kids, it says, we will practice counting by 5s and 10s this week. I will be able to count a group of coins by 5s and 10s this week. So they know, did I do that? Did I not? And again, I could be better. Don't get me wrong. I'm not great at holding my kids accountable, but if we're all doing it and helping each other, it shouldn't just be something on the wall. It should be what we're using, hopefully. That's the goal.
That is the goal.
Yes, the goal. Yeah. Does that help? Okay, and then the others are work in the power zone. We got that one. We said no one sits at their desk. And actually, if you're at your desk with kids, you're in the power zone. That's considered, if you look at the little diagram, which we'll go over not chapter, but frequent small group purposeful talk about learning. What's that one? What does that one mean? Y'all know?
Bring the cognition.
Yes, good. Yeah, they talk about Socratic, is that right? Socratic learning? Which I feel like this is kind of like a buzz right now, like turn in talks. Does that kind of this is that? Which I have to say that when I observed like my lip lock girl, I thought, oh, she could turn and talk right now. Like I do see the benefit in it. When you watch someone else, you see, not that I'm thinking I should, not her, do that. But I watch her and I think, oh, that is why I should turn and talk here, because I can see they need to talk about that topic. Does that? Of course, I struggle with then getting them back on task.
Yeah, or the attendance bell rings. That happened to me this morning. We're getting ready to start our whole lesson. I'm like, all right, turn and talk to your partner about what you know about spiders. So.
I agree. That's usually when I turn and talk. Miss Walker needs to watch a class. Turn and talk.
Would that be something like a think, pair, share?
100%.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah. That, and they say though that these kids need to be talking about it. Like if they don't talk about it, so there is a benefit to it, not just.
It's almost just like 2 minutes while you flip it.
Right. But when we do journal writing, I give them like 3 minutes to share out at their table, because I can't look at every single one of them. But if they get an opportunity to share out, then they know it's meaningful, it's worthwhile.
Mm-hmm. Okay, last two. I don't have to keep y'all's time. It's time to go. Recognize and reinforce and write critically. So those are the recognize, reinforce, recognizing them, like talking to them, building that. I feel that one's like the relationship building. And then writing critically is like kind of we already discussed, writing over all the subjects. So I think that's my last slide. My little slide. It was just real quick. This is mainly to keep me going. And like I said, these questions will kind of be what we'll kind of have discussions about. I'll just try to post them by next Monday. So and we'll see. I've never used it, so we'll see how it goes on. I'm pretty sure, like I said, no one's used Google Classroom. Right? I'm thinking it's going to be, who's used Blackboard? I'm in it right now. But yeah, I'm thinking it's going to be like that. I'm hoping it'll be like that, where we can just have a discussion. And don't forget, I'll have some kind of gift card for maybe a couple people, whoever enters in the most. So, and this will be the only time we meet in person for it. But is that if everyone's okay? I love meeting in person though too. We can do something together. Okay. And if y'all have any questions, please feel free to email me. And not even just about this, anything. I am here to help y'all. I am so thankful for each of you and that we have such an amazing staff. I'm not going to lie, when we were told how many people were leaving at the end, I mean, when we just kept seeing people dropping, but I am thankful for every single one of you. Y'all, it's amazing. Like, and you're going to be amazing. We can make this place amazing and help these kids and have that vision together to help all of them succeed. So, including our high babies, because we need to push them farther, this too. Not just, we should have more advanced too than we do, actually. So it's at every end. It's not, so I just want to say that. I'm not just talking about the low end, I'm talking about the high end too. It should be both ends. So hopefully, I believe that these things, if we hold each other accountable and do these things, it will help all of us. So next week, chapter 3 and 4, and we'll be online, and I'll make sure I get the ones that didn't get online to set you up. So thank y'all so much.
You.
And if you didn't get candy, that was my sweet treat. Did everyone get it?
We got candy. It's over here.
Okay, y'all pass it around.
Thank you.